Yeah, I don't know. I feel like with the remaining days of the year, I should have time to at least get the rest of the party maxed, but it's looking a little
Look,
tight.
it's been quite some time.
Hello, Igor.
Do not be alarmed. You are fast asleep in the real world. I have summoned you within your dreams. Now then, your journey has taken you quite a distance thus far. Do you believe you'll be able to successfully solve this mystery?
Yeah, because I got game facts, bro.
Splendid! The precise destination of this vehicle, that too is getting rather hard to judge.
Igor was the murderer all along.
If
Yeah, look
we
at those
continue
bloodshot
driving
eyes.
blindly, we may end up leading you further away from the mystery that you must reach.
Those massive teeth. He might have been eating his victims.
Well, why don't we take a moment to look back on your journey? It was for that purpose that I summoned you here tonight, Margaret.
Huh.
I can't ignore that fact any longer. I need to face the truth head on.
This is kind of similar to that moment in P3 when you're up against Nyx, right? And you hear the voices of all the people you've helped along the way.
What's right? What you should choose to do in life. The answers to those things lie within you.
Does this mean I was too late to unlock the ultimate persona?
I think I need to start being more selfish.
I'm going to think about my life and set my own path.
We are experiencing the words engraved into your memory during your journey.
Failing to understand and failing to listen are rather different things.
All right, let's go ahead and think this through as much as we need. If we leave any unanswered questions behind, we'll just be lying to ourselves.
I'll think as hard as I can and try to help.
Come on, we've accomplished this much together, haven't we?
I think I need to be more selfish. Really help that person out.
Right. Together.
Yeah, I was just thinking that was kind of an odd statement to read.
And it seems you have comrades with you as well. Those heading in the same direction through this dense fog.
We didn't see the fox, though. Oh, why is the limo stopping? Who's driving the limo, actually?
We'll be parked for the moment while I confirm our current heading.
Or could it be Theodore, who's actually driving the limo by himself up front?
As I mentioned previously, this year will signal a great change in your life. Though there isn't much time left, it can be worth your while to take the time to stop and reflect.
People are like water flowing in a river. There is only one stream, but all who pass through it are affected differently.
Yeah, she was definitely voiced a lot better in Persona 4 Arena.
Some travel fast. Some change their course, experiencing countless events as they travel down the river of time.
Just so.
On P3, the room stops at when the clock hits 12, I think.
The state of this room reflects the scenery of your heart. Perhaps this may be a time for contemplation rather than action.
Oh. Doorbell. Philemon's just... He's operating the elevator in P3, and he's driving the limo in P4. That's weird that they never brought him back again. Damn, someone really wants me to open the door.
Teddy's missing. I looked all over the neighborhood, but I couldn't find him anywhere.
He'll be back soon. It's okay, bro.
Rise and the others are checking inside the TV to see if he's gone back to the other side. We're meeting pretty soon, so will you come with me to Jeunesse?
You don't need another person to drive an elevator. Well, maybe it's one of those old elevators, Lemon Thunder. Have you ever thought of that?
It's no use, man. We can't find him.
Don't look for me either. I didn't sense anything over there. The fog's so dense it might be affecting my readings. I wish I could do better. I'm sorry.
Could probably find him in the fog.
Ted. Don't tell me he really went back to his world this time. We told him over and over that he could stay here.
The dream ended when we accidentally crashed into Teddy. No use getting all worked up, guys. He's a wild animal. He'll be fine.
You're right. He plays dumb a lot, but he's attached to us deep down. He wouldn't disappear without saying anything, right?
I'm worried for Teddy myself, but let's trust in him and await his return. Right now we must concentrate on the case. It won't be long before Namatame is transferred to another location. We must hurry, or we will miss our only chance to get his perspective on this.
You know, I've been thinking about the case since, but something just doesn't seem right.
Let's quickly review the facts.
God damn it, I don't have time for this. I gotta be out, going on dates with girls.
Of all the victims, only 2 were killed. Miss Yamano the announcer, and Saki-san. From the documents we found in the car, we know Namatame had some sort of dealings with them. After that, there were multiple attempted murders in which we were targeted. It was only when he took Nanako-chan that we caught him in the act, identifying his modus operandi in the process.
Speak English.
I want to hear you put it like that. Sounds like the dude's guilty.
As a result of Namatame's arrest, the police admitted that Mitsuo Kubo was a mere copycat killer.
Back up to yesterday. Remember when you said Namatame didn't have a motive to kill the announcer? That's what's bothering me.
Right. Either he's completely nuts, or we're misunderstanding something.
You lost me.
She's trying to say that if Namatame is sane, then there may be facts in the case we don't know about yet. Sane or insane? Sounds like a play I saw before.
When he talks about saving people, what does that actually mean? I don't think there's any doubt that it includes kidnapping people and throwing them into the TV.
Unless those people thrown into the TV get rescued.
Could he mean saving them through death? He did call himself a savior, and said that the other side is a wonderful world.
So they'll be saved if they die? What a bunch of crap! The bastard should have gone and saved himself. What do you think, Senpai? If you think about it normally, it's gotta be him. But there ain't nothing normal about that world anyways.
There's something I've been wondering about for a while. When we first encountered him, he said, "You're the ones I saved. Don't worry, I'll save this girl too."
Oh, B-Man, welcome back, dude.
So, if he saves people by killing them, did he save us too?
Yukiko hitting the nail on the head. B-Man, we're trying to finish this game before Dancing All Night comes out.
Would he actually have failed to save us?
So we're on a timetable here.
You raise a good point. If he thinks that salvation comes only through death, his words to us make no sense. And another thing, the Namatame who appeared on the Midnight Channel said he failed to save Nanako-chan.
Well, maybe he really was trying to save the victims by putting them inside the TV.
Chie with those.
Come on, don't get all quiet like that. You guys know I just say the first dumb thing that pops into my head.
Always with that moment of clarity.
The possibility that he truly intended to save us.
But he's still the one who threw in Saki-senpai and that announcer, right?
I'm actually trying to remember, is there a secret boss in this game? Like, do I get to fight Elizabeth or Margaret?
Sure, we haven't nailed down his motives, but that doesn't change the fact that he killed them. Or what? You think someone else was involved? What makes you think so?
Mm-hmm. The warning letter.
Warning letter? Oh yeah. Whatever happened to that thing?
How do I get to fight Margaret?
If Namatame's the killer, he must have been the one who wrote it, right?
Let's review them.
Don't rescue anymore.
Yes, that's right.
Isn't that kind of odd? Would someone who thinks he's saving people by killing them write stuff like don't rescue or kill?
Yeah, and the will be put in and killed part doesn't make sense either. If the killer was writing it, wouldn't it be more like I'll put in and kill?
Hey, could this mean...
Namatame wrote it wrong.
Yeah. It's almost like someone else wrote this letter.
But only the killer would write such a letter and deliver it to Dojima-san's house, right? If someone else wrote it, that could only mean...
Ah, damn, B-Man. Does that mean I have to get max social links in order to do this?
Dear God.
That would be a tough
Since
one.
this is such an unusual case, I was absolutely convinced that other than the Kubo incident, there was one culprit.
I would have liked to have somehow got this done, but I don't know if it'll be possible at this point.
So, Namatame really was trying to save his victims?
Everything is exactly the opposite of what it first seemed. In Namatame's parlance, failing would have been the first two cases when the victims died. If he had used his method twice and failed both times, he would hardly have continued using the TV. And yet he did. It all seems to suggest that someone else wrote this warning letter while observing the entire case.
Someone else? Then... it wasn't Namatame that killed Saki-senpai and the announcer?
I'm not too sure about the max social links, but as long as you beat the game, I think she's unlocked. Ooh, I'll have to try that out. Although I'm sure she'll probably be as impossible as fighting Elizabeth in P3.
We can't say for certain yet. We urgently need to speak with Namatame face to face.
Megidola for everyone. Alright, that's cool. We got New Game Plus going anyways, so this could happen.
How though? After what happened yesterday, they said they're gonna tighten security.
I have a plan, but there's no time to waste. Let's hurry to the hospital.
Hey, this place is off limits.
It's cool, bro.
I'm a consultant with the police. I'd like a few words with Namatame-san. May I go in?
This is Unit 252, requesting confirmation on an ID. Name of Naoto Shirogane.
Shirogane.
Ah, understood. I see. Well, you're on the list. I can give you a few minutes, but I'll have to record your conversation with him for security purposes.
Wait, Jay, don't you get extra days in New Game Plus? That's the first time I ever heard something like that. New Game Plus gives you more days? I just assumed it was like, you don't have to waste your time grinding stats, but... Huh. Let's see. Checking back on this. To do so, the protagonist must first fulfill several prerequisites. Optional bosses must be defeated. Emperor's social link must be completed. Before completing Magatsu Inaba, I did that. Second cycle's true ending. The protagonist must revisit the Velvet Room after obtaining the Orb of Sight before speaking to the mole gas attendant. Should the protagonist speak to the attendant before visiting, Margaret will not challenge the protagonist to battle. Ooh, okay, that's... Alright, you guys are gonna have to remind me because I could easily see myself forgetting this when that finally happens.
Anything coherent out of the guy. He's been spouting nothing but gibberish.
But that's good to know. So once I get that orb of whatchamacallit, I have to go back into the Velvet Room and talk to Margaret, probably.
I'd like him to accompany me as well. He has no identification, but this is an emergency situation, and he's here in Detective Dojima's stead.
Huh? Detective Dojima sent him? I wasn't informed of this.
Man, Naruto with the quick talking.
I'll vouch for his identity.
Well, I guess it's better than dealing with the man himself. We have our hands full with the transport procedures, so the last thing we need is Detective Dojima running wild.
That nuisance.
Busy somewhere too. This is Unit 252. Huh? I see.
Has something happened?
There's something about a suspicious object out in the lobby.
Well then, this works out nicely. You should back up your colleagues downstairs. We'll keep watch over Namatame-san. A disturbance in a hospital lobby, after all. It sounds serious.
If anything happens, hit the nurse call button. I'll leave the rest to you.
So good at
Understood.
manipulating people.
Please be careful. I knew they were undermanned, but I didn't expect it to go this smoothly.
Wow.
There's nothing much inside that suspicious object, so he won't be gone long.
All right, then now's our chance to talk to Namatame.
Man, that lighting. It's like they turned on the microwave.
Namatame-san, there's something we'd like to ask you. It's tempting to think that you were the culprit behind this entire case. And to be honest, there are many in this town who hope you are. But we are here to learn the truth. So please, answer our questions.
Huh?
You'll believe me? Who did you throw in first?
Huh? Me?
Interesting. Wow, that was like a weirdly simple exchange. You're saving killing people? It's like, what are you talking about?
No. If nobody saves them, they'll be killed. That's why I put them in there. They were killed. I couldn't save them.
Then tell me if my estimation is correct so far.
Such a simple exchange going on here.
After discovering the Yamano and Konishi incidents, you realized an appearance on the Midnight Channel meant certain death. Thus, to save her from that fate, you kidnapped Yukiko Amagi. You couldn't let her be killed, so you threw her into the TV, preventing the killer in this world from reaching her. And you repeated the process, as more individuals appeared on the Midnight Channel. It all falls into place. His body is weak, but his mind is sound. He's trying to tell us the truth.
Yeah, but if the stuff he's saying is true...
There's another killer who murdered the first two victims?
Indulge us in a few more questions.
It really makes you wonder how the hell they're gonna explain this in the court justice system. Not even Phoenix Wright could get this one out. Who killed the first two? Of course he doesn't know.
No idea. I want to know that too.
Why did you send me those warning letters?
What are you talking about?
I like that you don't explain it to him.
I didn't know. I never thought it would be that kind of place.
As I thought.
You believe me? Did they find him?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Who did such cruel things?
I forgot that Phoenix Wright actually did use a ghost for cross-examination.
Mayumi.
Please calm down. Our ability to find the culprit rests on you. We know about the other world. In fact, we're the only ones who can fully understand what you have to say.
Oh man.
You?
So we are coming up on this
We did
accomplice
blame you for
ending
everything
really
at
soon.
first. But now I think we can accept whatever you got to tell us as truth.
Please, tell us everything you can, calmly and slowly.
You're willing to listen? Do my story?
Well, if you don't hurry up, the policemen are gonna come back.
All right.
I'm gonna have to do a lot of fast forwarding after the accomplice ending.
Soon after my affair with Mayumi became common knowledge,
Dude. Look at his room.
I returned to my parents' home, as if to run away from the scandal.
Look at all that beer he's
I
been
started
drinking.
drinking heavily to drown my anxieties. I hadn't been able to reach Mayumi at all, and that didn't help either.
This is gonna be Kevin Ha when he turns 21 in 3 days.
Mayumi, where are you? She'd been disgraced on all the afternoon shows and forced to resign from the program she was on. I caused her so much trouble. I wanted to at least apologize to her, but I couldn't even do that.
So is it really explained why you helped Sadachi in the wrong end? It kind of is, Proto-Steel. I'll go over it as we do it, but...
I lost the will and energy to do anything.
Yes, I
Then
mean, he
one
is an
day,
accomplice at that
the
point.
rumor I heard some time ago came back to me. Since I had nothing better to do, I sat down blankly in front of the TV and watched my own reflection.
Namatame being super emo's like, I'm just gonna get drunk and stare at myself in the TV screen. And then one day...
And all of a sudden, there was Mayumi. Mayumi? Is that you?
Oh yeah, they did do a whole P4G episode about that. It was actually a pretty good episode.
The Mayumi inside the TV looked as if she was calling to me for help. Mayumi? When I reached out unthinkingly to touch her, my arm disappeared into the TV, as if I had dipped it into a pool of water. I was so shocked that I lost my balance and nearly fell face first into the TV. I was so scared. I couldn't understand what just happened. I thought maybe I'd gone insane. In the end, I decided to think of it as just a dream, and I went back to the city the next day after finishing work. The next afternoon when I got to work, I was fired on the spot, as I expected.
Wait, there are no subs for P4G yet? I thought they were out already.
That wasn't what broke me, though. It was Mayumi.
It's been a
My
while
friend
since
dead.
that anime went out live.
And not just that, but it had happened in my hometown. I was dumbstruck. But later on,
Oh, a
I
dub.
remember the image of Mayumi I'd seen that night.
Given how much trouble Atlas has been having trying to get its voice cast to stay for this franchise, I wouldn't expect to see a P4G dub coming out anytime soon.
Was it not a dream? Could it really have been an SOS from Mayumi?
Liquid crystal
I
display.
hadn't touched another TV because the
Explains
first time was so
everything.
terrifying, and I confirmed that none of it was a dream. So that image, was it something Mayumi showed me, calling for help? That's how I felt.
And eventually, you learned of the Midnight Channel.
I remembered that when Mayumi was alive, she was chasing a rumor about some bizarre TV program. I'd heard about it before, but
I thought it was just an urban legend.
It's a news anchor trying to expose the
Mayumi
Midnight
appeared
Channel.
on it, and later turned up dead. The more I thought about it, the harder it became to believe that the two events were unrelated.
It does seem kind of like a coincidence when you think about it that way.
Soon after that, I came back to Inaba to answer the police's questions. I'd lost my job, and I wanted to know the truth of Mayumi's death for myself. Then, on another rainy night, someone else appeared on the Midnight Channel. It was a girl. She looked like she was calling for help, just like Mayumi. The first thing that came into my mind was, maybe this girl will be the next to die.
Wow.
And that was Saki-senpai.
I'd been following all the news about Mayumi, so I noticed right away that she was the girl who found Mayumi's body.
Proto Steel Girl, do not watch the first episode, whatever you do. Just skip the first episode.
If my hunch was right, she'd be the next victim. I didn't want her to die the way Mayumi did, so I desperately kept watching. I was consumed with the idea of rescuing her. Then, little by little, her image on the screen came into sharper focus.
It became sharper?
How did you find out it was her?
After I came back, my father couldn't bear to see me in such low spirits, and gave me a job with the family business. I met that girl when I delivered a package to the liquor store.
Interesting. So in the end, Namatame had a fallback job.
After agonizing over it,
Interestingly
I
enough.
decided to meet her, and told her to be careful.
She's like, get away from me, creepy
that
old
same
man. But that same night,
She looked as if she was being engulfed by some black shape. She was writhing in pain. That's why I warned her. Why won't she pick up the phone?
no one seems to... Yeah, they never explained how the shadow actually kills a person.
Come on! Please!
I really wish they did do some sort of reveal on how...
The next day, they found her dead.
how they actually died, or what their shadows came to look like eventually.
I knew she was gonna be murdered, but I couldn't save her.
They would have made awesome hidden bosses.
I blamed myself, thinking there must have been something I could have done. There was no one who depended on me. Nobody at work, not even my wife. Mayumi
Oh yeah,
was
that's
the only
right.
one who accepted me for who I was.
His wife is still around. I
was
forgot
murdered.
about that.
And the same person killed another girl. I was beside myself. I couldn't forgive myself for doing nothing.
You really did love Miss Yamano.
Yes, from the bottom of my heart.
It eats them?
Before I was married, my wife made it big in show business. I was happy for her, but it put a strain on our relationship.
I think I can kind of relate.
It was around that time when I met Mayumi. She was interviewing our candidate for the next election. She was a big-name announcer, but she only worked with local stations, and her attitude towards work was similar to mine. We both came from Inaba, so she was easy to talk to. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't help getting intimate with her. She gave meaning to my life. Soon after Saki-san was found dead, yet another girl appeared on TV.
Let this be a lesson to you all. If you're not happy with your current marriage, clearly it's not wrong to to pursue another woman that gives meaning to your life.
That was you. She'll be kidnapped next, and murdered. I can't let her end up like Mayumi and that other girl. This time, I'm gonna do something. My opponent was a murderer who left no clues to his identity. I thought hard about what I could do to protect her from someone like that. I'll never convince her. If she gets suspicious and they arrest me, we'll save her then. The girl inside the TV looked as if she was smiling at me.
Funny thing is, I think his view of the TV is a lot clearer than everyone else's.
And that's when it hit me. I apparently had the power to go through the TV screen to the other side. Then, what if I put her into the TV and give her shelter there before the killer gets her?
You didn't even scope out the TV, though.
What are you trying to tell me? That it's safe over there? Is that it? The girl inside the TV seemed to smile at me again.
Oh, Namatame, you're drunk. Go home.
And I thought, no matter what kind of place it might be, it's better than being slaughtered. Once things calm down, I could just let her out again. If she's inside the TV, there's no way they can find her. It felt as if everything was starting to come together in my mind. Could it be that Mayumi gave me that power to prevent any more victims from meeting her fate?
He is home. Yeah, I guess he is.
Mission to save people? But there was a big problem. If I explained the situation to the victim, they wouldn't understand. I had already tried that and failed miserably. It seemed the only thing I could do was to take them away. If that was my mission, I'd just have to do it. Or so I thought. Mayumi, please lend me your strength.
Oh, Japan. Always so like that.
So, since you thought people who appeared on the Midnight Channel would be killed, you kidnapped us in order to save us.
Mission? Give me a break! You never stopped and wondered about any of this?
I thought I was the only one who could help them. I did call the police, but they didn't believe me. I knew the area well, thanks to my job. I had a large truck, and I could move around without suspicion. I thought my job as a delivery man would be the perfect cover for my mission. I thought no one else could do it.
You never went inside the TV to see what it would be like.
Are you telling me that I wasn't saving them?
Now he figures it
If
out.
a person is still within the TV world when the fog appears here, they will die. Beginning with Yukiko-san, the people you thought you had been saving were, in fact, in mortal peril. It was my friends here who really saved us all.
I had a feeling that was it. When I went after that little girl and entered the TV myself, for the first time, I had some doubts about myself.
You refer to Nanako-chan, correct?
The police were after me, so I had to get away. But I still felt I needed to do everything I could to save that poor little girl. That's why I went in after her. But the TV world was completely different than I imagined. Such an abominable, grotesque place.
Probably why he went crazy, I guess.
I knew that the three of you who I saved went back to your normal lives, so I didn't realize how terrible that world was. I never knew. You couldn't even get out of that place on your own.
No. That's a cowardly way to put it.
Actually, that brings about an interesting question, because how did Rosette get out of the TV after looking for Teddy in there? Because Teddy usually makes the exit.
I'd probably already begun to realize that it was a dangerous place. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have gone to see you all.
See us? Wait, are you talking about the concert we did at Juness?
Yes.
Huh.
I wanted to know why
Interesting.
the ones I saved were all hanging out with each other, and how much you remembered.
Ah, yes, at the concert.
But in the end, I couldn't bring myself to say anything and ran home. I must have felt too guilty. But all the doubts and anxieties I'd been unconsciously suppressing exploded out when I entered the television myself. I thought I was going insane. I probably did.
Well, yeah, Ibsen, the exit is the stack of TVs, but they don't just always appear there.
And
Teddy
the
always
rest-
makes them.
When I came to, I was lying in a hospital bed.
Because they mention in the P4 Arena storyline that they had to get him to eventually make a permanent one, in case any of them just accidentally fell into a TV.
You really were trying to save people.
But I ended up doing just the opposite. What a fool. I always wanted to enter the world of politics and become useful to society. But after losing my job and the woman I loved, all I had left was this power. I convinced myself that world was some sort of sanctuary, and I secretly believed myself to be a hero. I never doubted what I saw on TV, and believed everything was as I wanted it to be.
Sounds like that's an interesting line, considering how so many people seem to think TV is real.
I didn't think for myself at all. That's why I couldn't protect them.
Analogies.
I'm to blame for all of this. I suppose so. But the things I've done are too serious to be brushed aside like that. I have no intentions of running away from my crimes. I'm prepared to face the consequences.
Although technically all he's done is kidnap people.
Kidnapping is already a serious crime. And on top of that, I put all those lives in danger.
Oh yeah, child endangerment.
I'm sorry.
The Midnight Channel and the other world, you can hardly be blamed for failing to understand them properly. We must apologize to you as well. Had we let our emotions blind us to the truth, we would have piled all the responsibility on you.
I guess from your point of view, people did stop dying once you started saving people. The more you did it, the more you really believed you were preventing their deaths.
I'm such a joke. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little tired.
What are you all crammed in here for?
What took them so long to investigate that mysterious object?
My apologies. We'll be leaving now.
Wait. I beg you, please, find whoever's behind this. You children are the only ones who know about that world.
That's our plan, bro. Don't worry about it. We got this shit.
It's all clear now. He never committed any murders. It was another party who threw the first two victims into the TV.
Phew. All right.
Now get out of here!
Policeman's like, great. I'm glad you figured things out. Now get the hell out of here.
He's almost ready to be transported. We can't have anything else happen. Sheesh. Better not see you rascals here again.
All you get is a slap on the wrist.
Nanako-chan looks like she's in pain. She's fighting for dear life.
No one still knows what's wrong with her.
We saw Teddy, right?
How can he flake out like this when we have to find the real killer?
The police consider the matter closed. We'll have to do all the investigation from here on out. Let's revisit Saki-san and Miss Yamano's incidents and see if we can turn up fresh details.
But it's been over 6 months. Wouldn't the trail be cold by now?
I know, but we can't give up. We're the only ones who understand what's really going on. And you never know. People might remember some things now because they've had so much time to think about it.
Oh, is this is another one of those days.
We'll meet
God
up in
damn
the
it.
evening to discuss our findings.
I hope we can find out something about Teddy, too.
Forgot this was like one of those last parts where you have to go around collecting information from arbitrary people.